And the average American has 3.4 bank accounts. That number has gone up every decade for 30 years, mostly because banks made it easier to open accounts than to close them. And because we were told, by banks, by financial magazines, by well-meaning friends, that more accounts meant more organization. It doesn't. More accounts means more decisions. More decisions create friction. And friction is the silent killer of every financial system you will ever try to build. Here is what actually happens when you have too many accounts. You log into one, transfer something, forget to log into another, miss a transfer, find your emergency fund is lower than you thought, get surprised by a bill you forgot was automated to the wrong account, move money to compensate. And by the time the month is over, you have spent 12 separate sessions thinking about your finances and made exactly zero progress on actually building wealth. This is the trap, and most Americans are sitting in it right now. Not because they are bad with money, but because nobody ever told them the system is wrong. The system is wrong. The correct system has 3 accounts. One for income, one for safety and goals, one for wealth. Everything else is noise. And this video is going to explain exactly how those 3 accounts work, why each one exists, what goes inside them, and what happens to your net worth when you run this for 10, 20, and 30 years. Problem 1, the complexity illusion. The American banking industry has a spectacular interest in your confusion. More accounts mean more relationships with more institutions. More institutions means more products they can cross-sell you. More products means more fees, more credit cards, more loans, more refinancing offers, more annual percentage yields that look attractive on a banner, and quietly underperform once you read the fine print. We have been trained to believe that complexity signals competence. If you have a checking account, 2 savings accounts, a vacation fund, an emergency fund, and an old credit union account from college that you keep meaning to close, you feel organized. You feel like someone who has thought seriously about their money. You are not organized. You are distributed. The distinction matters enormously. Being organized means every dollar has a clear purpose, and you can verify that purpose in under 60 seconds. Being distributed means your money is spread across multiple institutions with multiple logins, multiple statement dates, multiple interest rate tiers, and multiple sets of rules about when you can access it. 7 accounts with a combined balance of $1,200 is not a sign of financial sophistication. It is a sign that the system has been set up to feel productive while actually preventing you from seeing the full picture clearly. The research on this is unambiguous. Financial decision fatigue is real. Every extra account you maintain is a cognitive tax. Every extra login, every extra transfer you need to remember, every extra balance you need to reconcile reduces the mental bandwidth available for the decisions that actually matter, like how much you are investing, like whether your emergency fund is adequate, like whether you are getting a fair return on the money sitting idle in a standard savings account, earning essentially nothing. Below 3 accounts, the system is too simple to separate daily spending from long-term wealth building. Above 3, it is too complex to maintain over decades. 3 is the point where simplicity and function converge. 3 accounts. Let's talk about what each one actually does. Problem 2, the invisible tax on your savings account. 1 is the checking account. It has exactly 3 jobs. It receives your paycheck, it pays your fixed recurring bills automatically, and on payday, it sends predetermined amounts to accounts 2 and 3 without you having to think about it. The checking account is a traffic hub. It is not a savings vehicle. It is not an emergency fund. It is not a place to let money accumulate indefinitely because you haven't decided what to do with it yet. Most Americans treat their checking account like a holding tank. They get paid, bills come out. What remains sits there until the next paycheck arrives, and at the end of the month, they wonder where it all went. This is not a money problem. It is an architecture problem. The correct amount to keep in checking is 1 to 2 months of fixed expenses. Below that, you risk an overdraft event. Above that, the excess is earning near 0 interest and belongs somewhere else. Account 2 is the high-yield savings account, and this is where the invisible tax becomes visible. Right now, a standard savings account at a major American bank pays you approximately 0.01% annual interest. On $10,000, that is $1 per year. The bank, meanwhile, is lending your money to other customers at 8, 12, 22%, depending on the product. The spread between what they pay you and what they charge others is called the net interest margin. And for the largest American banks, it has been extraordinarily profitable for decades. A high-yield savings account, typically offered by online banks that carry lower overhead costs, currently pays between 4.5 and 5% annual interest on the same $10,000, that is $450 to $500 per year. The account is FDIC insured, meaning your money is protected up to $250,000, exactly the same way it is in any standard savings account. The access is identical. The difference is purely in the return. Over 3 years, that gap on $10,000 is over $1,400. Not because you did anything complicated, because you chose a different account. Account 2 holds your emergency fund, your sinking funds for predictable annual expenses, and any savings goal with a horizon under 3 years. The emergency fund is not optional, and it is not savings in the traditional sense. It is infrastructure. Without a funded emergency fund, every unexpected car repair, every medical bill, every appliance failure is a dead event. You reach for a credit card, the interest compounds, and you spend the next 6 months undoing 1 hour of bad luck. The minimum is 3 months of essential expenses. If your income varies, 6 months is the correct number. Sinking funds are how you stop being surprised by expenses that were always coming. Your car will need maintenance. The holidays arrive in December every single year. A sinking fund allocates a fixed monthly amount to a named bucket inside account 2, specifically for these expenses. When the car repair arrives, it is no longer an emergency. It was already paid for. Modern high-yield savings banks, including Marcus, Ally, SoFi, and others, allow you to create named goal folders within a single account. Your emergency fund is visible. Your car fund is visible. Your vacation fund is visible. All of them are inside account 2. No extra accounts required. Problem 3. The wealth gap you are accidentally creating. Account 3 is the investment account, and this is where the math starts to become uncomfortable if you have been ignoring it. The investment priority sequence is not complicated, but it is precise. Step 1. Capture your employer's 401k match. If your employer matches your contributions up to a percentage of your salary, this match is a 100% return on day 1. There is no legal investment in the country that consistently does that. If you are not capturing the full match, you are declining free money. Step 2. Fund your Roth IRA to the annual limit. In 2026, that limit is $7,500. A Roth IRA accepts after-tax contributions, meaning you pay tax on the money before it goes in, and then that money grows completely tax-free for the rest of its life. The capital gains, the dividends, the entire compounded return over 40 years, none of it is taxed when you withdraw it in retirement. For most Americans earning under the income threshold, the Roth IRA is the single most powerful retirement vehicle available to them. Step 3. Additional 401k contributions or a standard taxable brokerage account. Follow this order every time, without exception. Now the math. $500 per month into account. 3. Invested in a low-cost index fund tracking the S&P 500 at a historical average return of approximately 8% after inflation. 10 years, $87,000. 20 years, $262,000. 30 years, $612,000. You contributed $180,000 over those 30 years. The market contributed $432,000. The gap between what you put in and what you end up with is the entire argument for starting as early as possible and not stopping. Every raise you receive is a decision point. If you absorb the raise into lifestyle, a nicer apartment, a newer car, more frequent dining out, your wealth timeline stays exactly where it is. If you redirect even half of every raise into account 3, the timeline accelerates materially. The decision needs to be made deliberately, before lifestyle adjusts, because lifestyle always adjusts upward automatically. Wealth building never adjusts upward automatically. You have to choose it. The investment vehicle inside account 3 does not need to be complicated. One fund, VTI, which tracks the entire U.S. stock market, VOO, which tracks the S&P 500, or a target date fund set to your approximate retirement year, which automatically adjusts its equity to bond ratio as you age. Buy it automatically every month. Do not check the price. Do not react to headlines. Do not change it. The people who consistently outperform the people who actively manage their portfolios are not smarter investors. They are less active investors. The research on this is not ambiguous. Problem 4. The automation layer nobody talks about. The 3-account system works on paper. Every personal finance framework works on paper. The ones that fail do so at the execution layer, which is where human psychology and good intentions collide with the day-to-day reality of being tired, distracted, or simply busy. The way you remove the execution layer from the equation is automation. Automation means your paycheck arrives in account 1 via direct deposit. On payday, a predetermined transfer moves automatically to account 2. A second predetermined transfer moves automatically into account 3 as an investment contribution. Your fixed bills are already on autopay from account 1. What remains in checking after these automatic outflows is your discretionary budget for the month. You do not need to decide. You do not need to remember. The system runs without your participation. This is not a minor convenience feature. This is the mechanism that makes the system survive over decades rather than months. Studies on 401k enrollment are instructive here. When employers auto-enroll employees in a retirement plan, participation rates exceed 90%. When enrollment requires an employee to take an affirmative step, participation rates can fall below 20%. The behavior did not change. The default changed. And changing the default is, in practical terms, more powerful than any amount of financial education. Set up 5 automated flows: direct deposit into checking, automatic bill payments from checking, savings transfer to account 2 on payday, investment contribution to account 3 on payday. 1 hour of setup, years of consistent benefit. The 70-10-20 starting framework applied to a $5,000 monthly paycheck. 70%, $3,500, stays in checking for bills and daily spending. 10%, $500, transfers to account 2. 20%, $1,000, moves to account 3. Adjust these percentages as income grows. The percentages matter less than the habit of assigning every incoming dollar a destination before you spend it. The monthly maintenance requirement for this entire system is approximately 10 minutes once per month. 3 questions. Is account 1 above its minimum buffer? Did accounts 2 and 3 receive their automated transfers? Is any savings goal materially off track? If the answer to all 3 is yes, yes, and no, you are done. That is the entire system. Not because personal finance is simple, but because the execution layer needs to be simple enough to survive contact with a busy life over decades. Here's what that looks like in practice. Start with 7 accounts and $1,200. Consolidate to 3. After 3 months with automated flows, savings in account 2 begin accumulating. Contributions to account 3 begin compounding. After 10 years, account 2 holds $18,000 in fully funded emergency and sinking fund reserves. Account 3 holds $82,000 in the Roth IRA alone. Same income, different architecture. Over $100,000 in total net worth from 3 accounts and 1 hour of initial setup. The system that generates these results is not sophisticated. Fee-free checking at any major national bank. High-yield savings at an online bank paying 4.5% to 5%. Roth IRA at Fidelity, Schwab, or Vanguard invested in a total market index fund. These are not exotic products. They are the boring infrastructure of permanent wealth building. The complex system gets abandoned. The simple system runs quietly for decades. Wealth is not built by complexity. It is built by consistency. And consistency requires a system simple enough that you never have a reason to stop. 3 accounts, 1 direction, automated. Understanding money is your best defense.